What if your workplace was built on land that refused to forget its past? A place where the boundary between the living and the dead is so thin that it starts to bleed together, pulling the living into its forgotten world. This is not some random ghost story, and this isn't your usual haunted house. No, this is Neurofear HQ, and today we're diving into a place where reality doesn't just bend, it shatters. Picture this: a small, sleepy town named Evergreen Falls. A town so quiet, it almost feels like it's hiding something. And at the heart of this town is Evergreen RX, a humble pharmacy, glowing faintly in the darkness. To the outside world, it's just another run-of-the-mill pharmacy. But behind its glass doors and fluorescent lights, something else waits. Something old, something unseen. And once you enter, it doesn't let go. Our story begins with a young man, fresh out of a broken life in Portland, desperately seeking something better. A job, an escape. Evergreen RX promised him just that. A quiet town, an easier life, a chance to finally get his feet back on the ground. The pay was good, the hours even better. But what he didn't know was that in the stillness of that pharmacy, something was waiting for him. It wasn't a person, it wasn't even a ghost. It was a pattern, a routine that had been going on long before he even stepped foot in that town. The first shift goes smoothly, nothing extraordinary, nothing strange. Just a quiet pharmacy, just like any other. The night crew arrives, and there's Dr. Han, the tired pharmacist who's been working here longer than anyone can remember. He's the kind of guy who doesn't smile much. He doesn't need to. He's seen it all. The new tech watches, learns, and begins to fall into a rhythm. The pharmacy has its own pulse, its own set of rules, but something feels off. The silence is too thick, the buzzing fluorescent lights too steady. It's almost like the building is waiting for something. And then, at precisely 2:14 a.m., the doors open. The first person enters the store, a woman, drenched from the rain, yet the mat is dry. She doesn't leave footprints, she doesn't track any water, and when the new tech looks at her, something clicks. She's not just another customer. She doesn't belong here. And yet she moves like she does, gliding through the aisles, fingers hovering near bottles, but never actually touching anything. She doesn't look at the tech. She doesn't speak. She's just there. The new tech's training kicks in. Don't speak to anyone who doesn't track rainwater. Don't engage, they'll leave. The rule feels weird, but it's clear. She has to follow it. She has to. The woman doesn't seem dangerous, but what if the clock ticks forward? 2:20. The woman turns toward the exit. She leaves, just as the rules said she would, and she doesn't look back. It seems like a strange incident, something inexplicable, but it's only the beginning, because soon the tech realizes something worse than just weird customers. The mirror in aisle 7, the one that shouldn't be looked at after 3 a.m. The first time, it's subtle. Just a slight delay in the reflection, a lag, almost imperceptible, but when the tech looks closer, it's clear. The reflection isn't quite right. The face is moving slower than the body, like it's not his face at all. It isn't a mistake. It isn't a malfunction. It's something else. Something that shouldn't be happening. As the shifts go on, the tech begins to understand the rules, and each rule feels more like a warning than a suggestion. Rule 5. Never under any circumstances fill a prescription for room 12 after midnight. The thing is, room 12 doesn't even exist. It hasn't for years. The hospital that once stood here, The ward that once housed real people burned down in 1974, but somehow the prescriptions from room 12 keep coming. They keep arriving. And there are more rules that become more and more specific. Do not engage with the woman in the hospital gown. Do not speak to her. Do not acknowledge her existence. There's something wrong. The woman in the gown is just the beginning. There's something bigger at play here. A loop, a pattern, and the tech. He's in the middle of it now. Every night the routine repeats. The same rules, the same customers who don't track water, the same time frame. 2:14 to 2:29. The same woman. And then the mirror. The reflection that isn't really a reflection. The longer he stays, the more he starts to feel like part of the pattern. The pattern begins to accept him. He starts seeing himself in the reflection, in the glass, and then the prescription for his own name arrives. It's not a glitch, it's not a mistake, it's real. The prescription says it all, you've been exposed. And then it begins. The ward's echo starts, recognizing him. He isn't just a tech anymore. He's a part of the pattern, a part of the cycle. It's too late now. He's already been marked. So what happens when you work in a place like this, a place where the dead never leave and the living can't escape the routine? The new shift starts and another tech arrives, fresh and unaware. He hasn't seen the patterns. He doesn't know the rules. He's about to learn exactly what happens when the patterns start calling. The ward needs its supervisor, and now it's time to fill that vacancy. What would you do if you found yourself trapped in a place like this? A place where the lines between past and present blur, where the rules are your only hope or your greatest curse? Like, comment, and hit that subscribe button. Let me know. Could you survive working at Evergreen RX? Could you follow the rules, or would you test them and risk losing yourself forever? Comment below and let us know where you're watching from. Stay tuned for more from Neurofear HQ. We'll keep diving into the unknown, where the most terrifying things live right behind your reflection.